morning. Are we up? Are we up? Looks good. Okay, as you can see, up on the third floor. We've got the hot bath ready, but it's not for prints today, it's a sizing day. It's a sizing day. Gazpacho time, yeah, right. Okay, I've just started warming up the glue. So the usual deal, I'll turn the camera around so you can see the bit of cooking that goes on for the first couple of minutes. Then we'll come back here and get the actual sizing done. Special 3 cameras, my God, I spent so much time on this morning. Did I get snow? Of course we got snow. Look at our Instagram. So, somebody post a link from our Instagram here. From Vancouver. Okay, let me get cooking. Back in a minute. You know, the mic is here and I'm cooking over there. So for the next 3-4 minutes, I'll be a little bit out of touch. You can watch what's going on and I'll be back here when we're ready. We have 2 pans. One pan is preparing, it's getting ready to boil. That'll be for the alum. The other pan will only go on to a simmer. It's been soaking all night, the glue. We have 2 liters we're making today. There's some left over from last time in the box already. We have 2 liters and we have 55 grams per liter of glue in there. The glue, if I can find the camera here, the glue is the granular Nikawa glue. Nikawa is the kanji. It's available here. It's on Amazon. No problem. You can find it easily. It's granular Nikawa. And it's way, way superior to the kind of stick glue that we used to use in the old days. The stick glue, every stick was a different strength. Some were weak, some were strong, some were thick, some were thin. This stuff is always, always consistent. Okay, the water for the alum is pretty much boiling. We dissolve them separately because the alum needs a much higher temperature to dissolve easily. I'm running that to pretty near boiling. I can't boil the glue. If we do that, it seems that it loses its strength. The collagen or something breaks apart. I don't know the molecular problem. But we keep the glue to a max of 60 or so. We'll run it at 50 today when we're gluing, but softening it here will run to about 60. I have no idea in the old days if they did it separately. We found that that's the easiest, smoothest way to do it. I can put the alum in here, but it takes ages to dissolve, and I'm not sure it's even properly dissolved. So this went to 90 or so. And we'll roll this till it gets to about 60. The glue's already dissolved. It was in there from last night. Mother. Taran-san is here. Good morning, Taran-san. Blocks. I finally got some blocks off to you the other day. They're not very good, but it's all we have. I'm sorry. Dave, question left over, just go, do I calendar paper for all my prints? No, no, no. And the only prints we do the calendaring on, just a minute. The only time we do the calendaring on them is really when we need the smooth surface, when there's fine lines in the print and, you know, the stuff with delicate lines. That time, the prints, all the prints from this year's series, because they have really fine lines. We're calendaring everything. The girls were on the press morning till night the last couple of days, calendaring paper. Taran-san says, we sent them days ago, Taran-san, days ago. Today's Saturday. I sent them on like, what day did I send them? Well, the paperwork's all downstairs. It went, who did it? What Nabe-san did it? It went Wednesday. And we marked them delivery in the evening because we know you're out at school and stuff. When I get downstairs, I can get you a tacky bin number and we can check on it. Give me a timer, please, Ken. 5 minutes. 5 minutes, please. Let me know. And we can bring that stuff out and get sizing. The shower corner, the stairs to upstairs. The stairs go on, it's just junk. At the side of the stairs, we've just got shelves and all the woodworking stuff and tools for fooling around. This is cherry wood. There's cherry wood stacked up everywhere. It's all dated and signed and numbered, and some of it we've got wrapped up. The stuff that's newest and freshest, we wrap it up a bit so it dries fairly slowly. It's got its date on. Then some of the rest of it's been opened. It's drying in slabs. This is behind the bench here. This is actually a huge slab. This is a slab of cherry that goes down to the floor. It's sitting there drying. After they get dried from that large size, we chop them up into smaller. Maybe we can zoom in. Can we get over there? There it is. There's more cherry wood stacked over there in the corner. It's all named and dated, and some of it is actually already sliced. I don't know if you can see here. No, we can't. Some of that's already sliced into pieces. Oof, shouldn't have done that. Heavy. We know the size we're going to be doing. This is for the Shinhaga type prints we've been using. It's all sliced up. This is the next stage. We'll dry it later with more spacing between them so air can get in. So the drying happens step by step by step by step. Paper storage, active paper. We have, of course, the main paper storage is in the central room. And here's the scene of the crime today. Where should we do this? Will that do it for us? Somewhere on there? How thin thick? We end up with 5 millimeters. I don't know. Once the blocks are finished, this is where we're done. There's my thumb. So I think that's about 4.5. It's a little. This one's a little bit on the thin side. 4.5 or 5 is where we end up once it's on the actual plywood. Are we still trying to corner the mulberry market? We haven't bought any mulberry in a couple of years. Supply has been good. We still have the stack up here. What that mulberry almost certainly is going to be used for is when we start our own paper making in a few years. We'll be using this. It'll be pretty old by then. It'll be used for practice and warm up and learning how to do it, because we're going to, no doubt, we're going to spoil a ton of that stuff when we're learning. How's our time? 5 minutes past yet? Not yet? Four minutes. You know, I keep filtering it, but I don't really think it's actually necessary. The glue we're getting, that stuff I showed you a minute ago, it's really, really clean. This glue, this somehow granulated glue from a factory, it is really clean. The old stuff we used to get, the Sans M bond, I don't know if I have any to show you. I don't know. I don't have any here. Those old glue sticks that we used to use, the gelatin glue sticks, they were full of animal hair and crap and all kinds of stuff, and we really had to filter carefully. But this new stuff, I tell you, it's just clean. Not, you know, I'm filtering this just sort of for old time's sake, but I don't think it needs it. Somebody's asking about paper out. Well, I don't know if I screwed up yesterday. When I went to bed last night, or when I finished up here last night, Daychan was still here. I went downstairs. The refrigerator showed nobody for today and tomorrow. So this morning I slept in for a while. I stayed in bed till about 6:30, got up, looked at some mail, started to prepare for this one. There's no pool on the weekends. So I get up here, and just like a half an hour ago I'm doing this, and I notice out of the corner of my eye, there's a dot on the fridge. And Achan must have, either she snuck back in and put it on, or she did it before she left. I don't know the story. But there was a dot there that wasn't there when I checked yesterday evening. So quickly I got it out, threw it in the room, and 10 minutes later she showed up. So we talked about it this morning now. She says, yeah, I didn't want to bother you. I'm like, whatever. You didn't want to bother me, so as a result your paper's cold. So. And tomorrow, yeah, she's here again tomorrow. So Achan, she's doing the first batch of the January prints, and she's mixed emotions. She's so proud of being the first one to do this and of doing a good job. She's terrified of the registration. She's all, oh my God, I can't do this, I can't do this. And she's full of this, the gentle stress they have. But she's killing it. She's killing it. I wonder if she's listening. And she's doing, of course, the first batch. Ishikawa-san has already started. She did her key block yesterday. And because the registration on this print is so absolutely tight, the key block itself, it's the key. And if you imagine, if you do this key block, okay. Now you start doing colors. You print the red one, okay. You print the red one, ooh, that's a little bit off. Is your red block off? The point being, you don't know if your red block's off unless you're guaranteed that the key block was absolutely perfect. If you've done the key perfect, and I'm talking about 0.01 millimeter perfect, then you know you can move ahead and adjust color blocks. But if you've been a tiny bit careless or even loose with the key block, you're dead. The whole batch, the prints that are in there will be misregistered. So Ishikawa-san yesterday was doing her key block, and I wasn't sort of really aware of what's going on. I came back from the pool, had my coffee, went up to say, Ishikawa-san, how you doing? What's going on? And she just looks over her shoulder, and I realized she's doing the key block. So that's it. I back away, close the door, and all the other printers yesterday, Suga-san and Dei-chan, all the other printers, we just simply keep away. We don't talk to her. We don't say, how you doing? We don't interfere. She was totally, absolutely focused on the key work. And I'm told in the old days, and this is whatever, a generation or more back, only, for a critical job, only the master printer in each room was allowed to do the key. He would do the key blocks for the ones that were really super critical, then pass it on to the boys for doing the color blocks. Because if you miss up the key block, even the slightest bit, you're hosed. That print I posted a few minutes ago, can somebody repost it? The link I posted to our collection page. Where is it? This is a perfect example of this. It's way back up here. I'm sorry. I posted a link earlier this morning to a print on our collection page of the kabuki, the woman with the tattoo on her shoulder. Have a look at this. Zoom it up in your browser and look at the eyes. There are 4 blocks to print the eyes. It's a black, a gray, a blue, I can't remember, the red, makeup, whatever. And if one of those is off by the immeasurable fraction, the expression on the face is changed. That's as critical as it gets. Anyway, the paper is ready, the glue is ready, let's roll. Oh, I need a brush. This looks too bright. Let me try and do something with the camera. Is that better? How many sheets today? 8 today. Just a minute, 12. Okay, there's you're going to see 24 sheets will pass across the face here. There are 12 sheets of the super large paper called takenaga. I sliced them in half about a half an hour ago. There's now 24 in the stack, and you're going to see 24 sheets pass across the front here. And I'm in trouble because I don't have a whole lot of room here. I don't really have enough room for this. There's a hot carpet on the table. It's been here for the past hour. The board has been face down on the hot carpet. The paper is under this board on the hot carpet. Why are we doing such things? Because the room is normal Japanese winter room here. I can't find the camera. Where am I? This is temperature, this is humidity. Someone says that's low humidity for Tokyo. It's normal for winter here. It's a clear winter day, blue sky. There's no moisture. My toes are cracking. I've got bandages on part of my toes because they're cracking so much. It's dry here. Hontoni, it's dry here. Here's your sheets. These are large. These are large. Keep hydrated. I'm all day long. Juice, water, coffee, all day long. I'm okay. For me, I'm doing the right thing, I think. But it's dry. Keep hydrated. My daughters used to bug me about it, and I blew them away. But on one of the health checks, I'm 70 now. I'm supposed to be going for a health check again this year. I guess it was 65 or maybe 60. I don't remember which one. They got the rundown, and the doc saying you're clearly not drinking enough. More water, more water, more water. So actually, I've been a good boy. I do get lots. I get lots of fruit, lots of vegetables when I drink. Keep moisturized. That's what I'm not doing. Okay, let's get going. Let's get going. Let's try this. And I think we're going to see something a little bit different today compared to when I've done this before. These sheets are thick and large. Just a minute. Let's watch how we're going to do this. We're going to do a 2-pass on this. This paper is really, really, really super thick. And if I have enough moisture in the brush to get it good and properly saturated, it will almost inevitably dump too much at the front. The brush carries moisture, but if I fill it with enough moisture to cover this huge area and this thick paper, it'll be uncontrollable. At least for a guy like me, it'll be uncontrollable. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting down the level here on the brush. And this one pass, it's a little light, it's not enough. And there's still residual moisture in there, so I think a light touch across it, we're now good to go. I think. This has been my experience with this thick, heavy paper. I cannot start mucking like this, because then some parts will have more, some parts will have less. Are we counting? It's sort of the same we do with printing sometimes. To get a good, rich, deep color, instead of trying to do it all in one go, we'll do it twice lightly. And that's sort of actually the same kind of idea here now. There is still enough moisture coming out of this brush to top it up there the second time. I think we're perfect, perfect. These are going to be for prints from our Japan Journey series. So yes, Shinhanga, thick paper, lots of overlaid color. These will not be ukiyo-e prints. They're from the Japan Journey series. Harusan starts printing, what's today? She starts printing on Wednesday. Also, do you hear the noise from the heater? it's quiet. It is on. It will kick in and kick out. I watched the stream. I watched the video on demand the other day. And that heater was cycling on, off, on, off, on, off every couple of minutes. And I guess it's because we had it set actually at a really low level. This is hot. Here it comes. It's coming on now. But because it's at a higher level today, it's not cycling very much. But we were right on the edge of what it was doing. So it's on, off, all the time. And the other thing is I kind of screwed up. I did make a mistake. I had a camera sitting right on top of the bath looking down into it. And I thought I had turned off the mic on that camera. But I didn't. So the camera that was sitting there looking down into the bath was also, it had its audio. It's the one we normally use outside for the street camera. And it had its audio turned on. So whatever. And the on-off of the street air conditioner, that's gone this time of year. That's only a summer air conditioner. You can hear in the background, maybe. There's a roaring sound from outside. That's the same building, the rocks. Let me open the window. It sounds like an airport. That's the general air conditioning for the Rocks building. That runs 24 hours a day, all year long. This district must have been nice and peaceful before that shopping center was built, just before we came, so I don't know the history. But in that last stream, the washing stream, I saw the comments. People were sort of not complaining, but people were talking about the heater noise all the time. And I thought, what's the big deal? It's just a little bit of noise in the background. And I apologize. It really wasn't. It was front and center, and the stream would have been much more attractive if it hadn't been there. I think we'll do another one of those. We know the situation. Here in January, I don't have my next carving job ready yet. So maybe sometime in the next couple of weeks, maybe let's do another one of those bathtub streams. I have endless prints to do. And maybe tee it up with Taran-san. I don't know what days he would be free or something. And Taran-san could come over and we could chat and do some more washing, have a bath together. Well, keep the sound of the heater, yes, but last time it was just too much front and center. We didn't need a microphone in the bath itself. That was just too much. I'm drinking coffee actually, but kampai is still okay. Doesn't matter. Oh, Monday's a holiday. Should we tee this up then, Taran-san? Should we make a date? Monday's a holiday. Soka. I have no carving work. If you're free, let's do this. We'll put you on the timesheet. I'm free for that. Not asking for service. We'll put you on the payroll for the day. Come on over. Also, Taran-san for an update on Ayano-san. She's coming tomorrow for a day of training and working and stuff. Let's don it. Oh, let's do it, I think is what you mean. Okay, let's do it. Hi, Monday stream is done. Yeah, that's good. I'll leave the cameras up here. I don't have to run up and down the stairs with all these cameras and cables. Bonus. You know, somebody says, I can do it, I can do it. When it works well, it works well. But as you saw, even on the last stream there, I spoiled one print. You know, I can't ignore that. Even with my blah, blah, blah skill and experience and everything else, I spoiled one print. So, you know, Saru mo ki kara ochiru. Actually, the print that I did spoil, maybe on Monday, tell you what, I'll bring that out and show you what happened. We'll talk about it. If we do a bath stream on Monday, I'll bring that one out. And I was a little bit careless in one thing. There were 2 or 3 prints in that batch, that album, and they must have been near the ends of the album. And they were filthy, dirty brown. They were really, really heavily damaged. And I guess the paper was weaker than I thought, and I really didn't pick up on that. I was thinking it was going through, these are working well, this is cool, this is easy. And that one I spoiled actually was one of the ones that had been at the end. It was dirty brown, and clearly it was obviously very, very much weaker. The paper was, you know, very much, what's the word? It had been in touch with acidic paper for many, many years. So we'll talk about that on Monday, show you the failure as well as the other stuff. I got an email too. After that, we talked about this. I had mentioned having junk prints around here that I was using to test this. And of course, I should have known what would happen. Somebody wrote to me and said, look, can I buy some of those junk prints for testing for doing this? And I don't know. I know it sounds like a no problem idea on the face of it, but Mokuhankan getting into a reputation of selling junk prints that people are going to throw away and destroy. I know there's a world out there of museums and conservators and serious people who really know these things and work hard on these things. And it wouldn't be such a great idea for Dave to come here and sort of, it's okay, anybody can do this, let's blow it around and it's cool, it's cool. I don't really want to go that way. So I think I'm pushing it a little bit by doing that stuff on air in the first place. And I really don't want to move in the direction of encouraging people to do it at home. I'm sorry. So I get the mood, I get what you're feeling. You would like to learn how to do it, but the possible downside for me is quite strong, and I have to back away from that thing a little bit, I think. Someone's going to destroy a valuable print, and he's going to say, well, that guy on the internet showed me, he said it was okay, and you know. So I really think, you know, I'm going to keep, every time we do this, I'm going to do the capital letters, do not try this at home, I think. So I'm sorry. And then the fact that I screwed one up myself makes it even worse. What's this guy showing us what to do? He can't even do it himself. Whatever. Things are what they are. I think of the younger Dave, if I'm just, whatever, when I was 25 or 30 or something, if I had been doing this, I can see what the younger Dave would have done. You know, that print would have started to destroy. He would cover it up with his hand and, okay, move it around, let's put that aside, let's do something. He would have tried to hide it. So. I have no idea where we are in the count. I presume somebody's counting. Doesn't much matter. We have a show and tell for the end of this stream, and it's a show and tell that could be as short as we need to, or it could be as long as we need to. So whatever. We can certainly fill the time if we need to fill the time, or whichever way it's going to turn out. I'm really not sure. The fact that I'm doing these twice is taking time. It's now 8:35. We're halfway through double. I guess so. Maybe we don't even have a show and tell. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Lots. I see the message now from Twitch. It says first time viewer, first time viewer. I know I can't say thank you to everybody. I'm sorry, but those of you who are dropping in for the first time, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. You know. My God, we have so many damaged, destroyed prints, you know. Since we started buying heavily for our flea market a couple of years ago, we buy prints in batches quite a lot, and all the dealers, when they're selling batches, they do the same thing. They've got stuff they don't want to sell, they can't sell, so they batch them. There's good stuff, medium mixed with bad stuff. You saw me open a couple of things like that on the stream. We will do show and tell. I mentioned, I don't know about the time, whatever. So the dealers sell stuff in batches. So we get here, just as part of our normal purchasing, we have to buy stuff. You saw the other day on the street. Remember, we opened it up and it was a print with 2 big holes in it. The corners were missing. It's of no value to anybody. It's of no interest to anybody. A person learning printing and stuff would like to have that piece of paper. So we do have a bunch of those here, like that. And there is the idea, it's just not a high priority, there's the idea we should make some of those garbage prints available for people who want to study the prints and look at them, but they can't afford to buy prints, you know. And we've got, not thousands, there's hundreds of them here, hundreds of them. Yeah, we have a show and tell plan. No, but when I said there's no time, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. We have a show and tell. Of course we have a show and tell. Yeah, then think about that. If Taran-san is coming on Monday, I mean, it seems to be decided. Taran-san's coming on Monday. So that means he can help with the cameras and stuff at the show and tell time. So we can bring something big. The other thing about washing those prints the other day, and we'll do some more of them on Monday, is one part of it I did do off stream because I know from experience that it can lead to trouble. A couple of years back, I did one of the David's Choice videos, and we talked about the old Japanese little books. And as part of the video, I showed how they were bound, that the books were sewed up with string. And to help explain it, I took some scissors and I snipped the string and opened the book. Now, this is actually no big deal. The strings break all the time. Previous owners sew them up. Opening and re-sewing a book in the Japanese culture is no big deal. But I got feedback from that video. I can't believe you destroyed an old Edo era book on camera. And I thought I had explained it. You open them and you re-sew it. Most of the ones we get in the market, actually, you can see it's new string. It wasn't destroying a book in any way whatsoever, but people sort of misunderstood what was happening. We don't destroy books. We don't sell book pages, you know. So in order, the other day, to avoid getting into that, the album that I was washing last stream, I took the album apart off stream, and then we washed the pages one by one by one. It wasn't an album that had been published in that form. It was just some previous collector had taken a bunch of loose prints and glued them into some stationery album he bought at a local stationery store. So it's nothing worth preserving in any way whatsoever. But I know that if I had taken it apart on stream, my God, David's destroying a 100-year-old Japanese antique. No. Has the cherry wood supply problem gotten any better? We don't know. We're in the middle of it. The wood we have on our desk right now is no good, but it's wood that we prepared quickly. As I showed you before in the stream, we have wood now drying at various stages, and maybe ask me again in a couple of years from now, when the wood that we've been preparing for 3 or 4 years finally makes its way to my desk, then we will have a better idea of what we're doing with this wood. At the moment, we're still buying bits of trees, and we're throwing those bits of trees into our own little manufacturing chain at the top end. But we haven't really got any of that stuff out the bottom end yet. So we don't know. Current situation, bad, ever so slowly getting better, we hope. We don't know. Again, more first-time viewers. I'm seeing this every few minutes. First-time viewers from Houston, from UK. Thank you, guys. I don't know how you're learning about this for the first time, but thank you. And as always, I'm sorry I can't be more responsive and answer every question. This is a working stream, so I can only glance. I do, most days, I read the chat after the fact. It has become a lunchtime habit for me on stream days to pull down the chat, which is supplied to me by one of the viewers here. Nick supplies the chat to me. And I read through it. I don't watch the whole thing again. There's no time to do that. But I read through the chat. And it's sometimes really confusing because people are talking about something and answering something that I've said, but I don't remember what I had said. So another first time to recommend. Yeah, Twitch has started to recommend us, have they? I don't know. Yeah. Looking good. This is looking good today. Looking good. Looking good. I came from the person you watch also watches section, but I don't watch anybody. I don't watch Twitch streams. Oh, I see. Somebody else you were watching does watch this one. I see. I get it. The other way around. Okay. So somebody else you were watching also watches this one, so that's the recommendation. I get the idea. Okay, I misunderstood. Sorry. I'm not actually a very good member of the Twitch community, I guess. I don't really get the culture so well. It comes from not watching streams myself. Yes. Okay, I understand. Sorry. I guess it's a plus and a minus. I don't understand the culture, so I don't follow a lot of the rules or the norms. But also because I don't know everything else, I don't do it the same as everybody else, I guess. I don't know. So it's plus, minus. I can't imagine having time to watch Twitch streams. Where can I do this? In my sleep? Where am I going to watch Twitch streams? Okay, this is, I believe, the last sheet. If somebody was counting, we are at the bottom of the pile, so this should have been number 24. we're not finished. We're going to flip it. We are now halfway through. We might be just on time, you know. It's 8:45 here now. We had a slow start because of the cooking. I think we're going to be just right on time. Now, there's no room on it. Well, let's try it here. How do we do our flip here? There's really no room. I can't, I know it goes over there, but this large size paper, there just isn't any room for it. That's right, drop it all, Dave. Let's go, this goes here. This goes here. Wouldn't that be cool to drop this stack? Timothy Barrett, he wrote that book about the paper making. He spent many years in the 1970s, I guess it was. Maybe it was even the 1960s, I don't know. In the 1970s, he spent many years in Japan, up in the snow country, studying the paper makers, and he did a huge amount of research. He's retired now. He was at the University of, I can't remember, University of Iowa or University of Idaho, something that starts with an I. He's retired now. He's got an excellent book, Japanese Paper Making. And he describes when he was younger here in Japan in the 1970s or so, he's practicing how to make paper. You know, you do the thing, you dip, 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 you pull the sheet up, you put it over. You've got this huge stack behind you of wet pulp that is becoming sheets of paper. You know? And then two guys have to take this stack, go across the room, put it down, and they put it under where the press happens. And he describes one day where this thing, there's a stack of 200, 300, 400 sheets of paper, whatever it was. These two guys are carrying across the room, somebody trips, and down it goes, and all the couched sheets of paper, all the kozo just goes in a slurry onto the floor. And the whole thing was just, oh, why am I laughing? But he describes this, so you know. That's a really, really cool book. If you're interested in Japanese paper making at all, for me, that is going to be an absolute Bible for us when we start our own paper making. Timothy Barrett, I forget, 2 R's, 2 T's, I can't remember. It's called Japanese Paper Making. It's published by a publisher that begins with W. Waterhill, something W Hill. And it's packed with information, and it's also packed with anecdotes. He met and knew some of the people, the father and the father of the people making our paper now, the Iwano family. He spent time with them. It's hugely interesting information, you know. He never went on though to be a paper maker. He went back to America, became a professor somewhere, got a sinecure at a college, and that's the last we hear of him. He spent the rest of his life, you know, talking about paper making and whatever. Too bad. There's lots of online reference material about Japanese papermaking. There's a wonderful, wonderful PDF book that's available, and it was put up by some research institute somewhere, I think also in America. I don't have a link to it handy. If somebody wants to know about it, drop me an email. There's huge amounts of information now about the down and dirty nitty-gritty of Japanese papermaking in many, many fields. There's tons of information out there. We are just gathering bit by bit by bit. The problem for us now is time, but we absolutely have to start papermaking. Our paper now, we're down to one family making it. We've tested and tried paper from all over the places. The Awagamis, the Kitaros, we've tested them all and tried them all. And they're okay, but just without trying to be too pretentious about it, they are not anywhere near the level that we require. There's a comment here. There's something hypnotic about watching somebody who's a master of their craft. Hey, let me know. I'd like to watch that too. Please don't get the idea that you are watching some age-old legacy master here with stuff that has been passed on from generations, time immemorial. That's not what you're seeing here. In our workshop here, we really do try and make beautiful woodblock prints with a core part of the traditional Japanese technology. But we are doing it in a, whatever, what can I say? I've just learned how to do it without mostly being taught. The job we're looking at today, the last remaining craftsman, he won't talk to me on this. It's a particular trouble. He lied to me one day, I got upset and shouted at him, and he will no longer talk to me. So the particular job you're seeing today, we have learned how to do this ourselves from observation and trial and error. And we are in no way masters of this at all. We are competent at this. The product we are making here is very, very well done, but we're in no way any kind of a master at this. And really in the woodblock printing field now, both in carving and printing and in the backup area, the paper making and stuff, there really, honestly speaking, are no such people anymore. In the post-war period, the craft really decayed to a level, it really decayed. It really, really decayed. And when we compare all the prints being made these days, our best work, when we compare this with work from around 100 years ago, we still fall very, very short. And it's our dream that one day we'd like to be able to get to that level. Will it happen? Almost certainly no, but we're going to have a ton of fun trying. This is basically what we do now. But using the word master and stuff is kind of discomforting. You know, I read, if you're speaking with respect, and that's fine. I'm not rejecting the respect. Thank you very much. But my God, if you knew what we knew, if you knew what I know about how good it was in the old days, nobody would even think of using the word master for us, you know. Also, too, I'm not telling a sob story. You know, there's everything in the world. You know, it's the classic example, the buggy whip. You know, there were guys making buggy whips for horses, and they were so good at it, and the buggy whips had things that we will never know anymore because it's gone from culture. But competent, interesting people now make different stuff. So the world is the same. There are wonderful people doing wonderful things at a very high level. It's just the particular objects that are the focus of their efforts have moved on to being something else. And through some quirk of my character, just I happen to be interested in this one particular buggy whip. We're still making them, and people are enjoying, and our fans and customers and collectors, bit by bit, enjoy learning about the nuances of these particular buggy whips. But it really has no relevance to society. But they're so beautiful that it's worth doing. And hey, you got to do something with your time on this planet. What am I going to do? Become a computer programmer for Yahoo auctions or something? What are you going to do, you know? Someone says, accept the master title, Dave. No, because I don't want to cheapen it. I am really, really good at this. I get it. I'm not in any way being false modesty or something. I'm the best in the planet. Yesterday afternoon, Watanabe-san was here. And I took a sheet of paper for her and said, Watanabe-san, please, we need a picture of this. And what it was the third test sheet from what I made the next year's subscription series. The third test sheet from the subscription series. And she put it on the board, we put the light on it, and she took a photograph, and it is drop dead freaking gorgeous. And I carved it, I printed it, I thought of the project, I sized the paper. So whatever, there's nobody else on the face of this planet, 7 billion people, nobody else who can do that. So yeah, it's not false modesty. I am really, really, really good at this. Why do I reject the word master? Man, because I've seen the old stuff, and I've seen the old stuff day after day after day. Journeyman printers, journeyman carvers, guys that just got up and went to work and ho-hum and mow. Is it lunchtime yet? And those guys could kick my ass all the way around this building. So I know both sides. I know what a wonderful thing I'm doing, but I also know how good it really was back then. And that keeps me, whatever, my feet are on the ground. So. I'm not reading, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You keep out of this. Expert. You're like, I'll buy expert. I'm a super expert on this. I'll eat that term any day. And yeah, master in the casual sense. Yeah, I'm a master of this. That's very good. But it's the Westerners looking at the East, the master of this. That's the stuff that I just want to keep away from. So anyway, enough of this. But I think you get what I mean. That's all. Yeah, I'm good at it. And man, I feel really good about being good at it. And the pride inside is huge. I mean, how many people can actually make a statement like that? There's no other single person on this entire planet that could do what I just did, you know? And that's really, really, oh my God. Have we done? Okay, get going, get going, get going. Stop talking. Yeah, you guys stop. Stop poking me then. This is going well today. I am very, very happy with this. This is going well. At this point too now, we're on the back side and we have a full deck here. I have to reduce the pressure of the brush. Now you're also going to see me checking. What I'm checking for are creases. Put the next sheet on, start the brush. If I press too hard with the brush, it moves the paper down the stack. And the bottom one underneath it, the next one underneath it, can't move at the end because it's stuck here and it overlaps and forms a crease. This never happens on the front side because they're still fairly dry, but on the back side, now that they're wet and they're sticking to each other, if I slide the top, it creases over. So I've got to reduce the pressure on that brush compared to what I used on the first side. Why I'm double brushing? I'm double brushing because the paper is extremely thick paper, and in order to get a good quantity of size into it, there's two ways to do that. One way is to leave more size in the brush, a wetter brush, and do it in one pass, or to reduce the liquid in the brush and just lightly touch up here. Probably 80% is coming out in the first pass, and there's a little bit of moisture left. I'm just touching up a little bit here with the second pass. So it's maybe 80-20 just to get some random numbers there. And a master, dip, 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 just right one pass on a large sheet like this. And a real master, he wouldn't have cut this paper in half. If you're a sizing craftsman, you don't cut your customer's paper in half. Customer sends you the sheets to be sized, you size it and send them back. Now I know that we're going to cut it in half to make smaller prints, but if I were a sizing craftsman, I can't do that. You can't cut your customer's paper. So imagine this as being double size. turn this sideways, it would go all the way to the end of the table from here to here. And what kind of brush? He's got those brushes, Misao-san, they're hanging on the wall. He's got brushes this freaking wide and a glue pot that wide. Don't talk about a master here, man. Even the brush I'm using right now is glued together. We can't get brushes anymore. It's long, long, long. It was gone like around the time I was born. This is two brushes jerry-rigged together to make one larger brush. Oh my God, it's 9 o'clock. There's going to be 9 prints from each of the sheets you see here. Our Japan Journey prints, if you imagine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to make 9 prints. And as I said, I cut the sheets in half. So each of these takenaga sheets, that's the size name, the dimension. The dimension name is called takenaga. It's not just the dimension, it's the dimension and the type and the thickness. And we get 18 Japan Journey prints out of each takenaga sheet. The brush is goat. Missed that corner there. If there's a crease under there, and if I miss it, it will spread to the neighboring sheets and they'll be useless. The camera at the bottom left, this is our street camera. And although I don't have a cable long enough to reach the physical street here today, I thought it would be worthwhile putting the street camera here just to give us another viewpoint here. Some days I don't bother bringing it up. It's extra trouble, bringing up all the tripods and cables and everything else. Actually, too, next Monday, we talked about Monday, Taran-san can come because it's a holiday. It's Seijinshiki, Coming of Age Day. Next Monday here in Asakusa, there will be a ceremony down at the city, not the city hall, the city auditorium. It's just down the street. So Monday stream, if we were downstairs with the outside camera, we should get lots of views of kimono ladies prancing by. But if we're going to do the stream upstairs, so we won't have that view, I'm sorry. Yeah, Taran's coming on Monday. Okay, we'll see you Monday. We have a date. think we can still switch. I don't think it makes any sense to do that, but we could switch. Shall we do that just for one to see what's happening? We don't want any loose water. Now you can see this is okay. It's shiny, but there's no loose water. If I put too much on and it's loose, it'll spoil the next color. You can see the lines of the paper. The paper is made with, the lines you see here inside the paper, I can't trace it with my finger. It's the bamboo lines. Could a machine do this? Of course a machine could do this. Absolutely a machine could do this. But building a machine to do the volume level that we need is just a non-starter. Commercial paper is commercially sized, of course, you know. Lots of Japanese washi paper these days is made by machines, of course. If you look at Matsumura-san's catalog, Wood Like Matsumura, he's got Japanese papers of two basic kinds, hand-rocked, hand-sized papers and machine-made papers. So yes, there are such things, of course. Quality, don't talk to me about the quality. I think we're down to it here. Yeah, last sheet. Okay, this is the last sheet, so you know what's coming up. I know there's new people here who don't know the story, so regular viewers, please fill in the newbies here on what's about to happen. Brush goes in hot water. Switch back. Thank you. We are now going to lose the smaller camera permanently. It's going to come out because it can't follow us to the next room. Thank you, camera. Good service. You're out. Okay, we're going to move to the next room, and it's going to be a multi-stage process. I'm going to move the paper first, then I will move the camera, and then I will move the computer. We may lose our signal. Don't panic. The stream will continue from the next room. Okay, I have to unplug the camera to move it, so the camera may go down. Oh no, we can try. We can do this. Did we do it yesterday? We moved all things together. Just a minute. Computer power. Battery. microphone. Okay. All right, we have to move the Okay, we're going to move everything all at once. I've got the... Oh no, we have to unplug. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, camera's going down. Don't panic. Oh, it's got a battery. Can I do this? Let's give it a try. All with one hand. Let's try. Up we go. Okay, camera looks free. Ethernet cable. Let's try this. The wires. The pad on the table was heated. The pad you saw on the table is a hot carpet. Just a minute, guys. Hang on here. Patience, patience, patience. Where's my tech crew when you need them? Oops. Did we make it without dropping? Chat appearance. Font size up. Okay, I gotta move the picture. Hang on. Okay, we made it. Okay, the paper's way too wide, so we're going to use our patented 3-clip system. I don't have 3 hands this morning to use, so we're going to use this bar. And up they go. And we have, for those of you who haven't seen this before, we have strings up there on the ceiling across the room. And this paper is all going up there. And maybe we can get a better light balance here. Let's see. Is that better? Okay, you're talking about the paper front and back. The paper at the moment is face down, all the sheets. When I started an hour or so ago, all the paper was face up. I did the top surface first, then we flipped the entire stack, and I did the bottom surface. So what the stack now is all face down. But as you saw just now, I flip, just a sec. They're face down. I want to hang them up in pairs, but we don't want the faces to be touching in case they stick a little bit. So this is a face down sheet. It's now going to be flipped, so the top sheet is face up. So the first two sheets are back to back. There they come. Now they actually really don't stick to each other. There isn't that much water and glue in there. But if they were, then any stickiness now would be on the back side of the sheets, not the front side. By the way, where's the microphone? What did I do with it? It's down here. Is that better? The clips do leave a mark on the paper, but for us it's not a factor for two reasons. One is the edge of this paper will not be used in the prints. The print series that we're making here, there will be 9 prints cut from this, and we will not be using the actual end of each of these sheets. The other reason it doesn't matter so much is because the clips we are using are what are called in Japanese shitagiyo. People buy special clips for their laundry. They have no teeth. They're designed for ladies' underwear, which I guess is super delicate. And these things don't dig so much into the paper. But as I said, we're not going to use that end little tiny segment anyway, so we're good to go. Someone says they're losing signal. I've got a green dashboard. We're wired. We're not on Wi-Fi. I think we're up and running normally here. There's nobody else in the building except myself and Dei-chan. Nobody else is using computers here. We did have one last week. Actually, somebody in the chat wrote to me about this and asked me. They said something at 9:30 every day something was happening. And actually it was. Aoyama-san, you know, we do these streams from 8 to 9:30, and 9:30 is when most of the other staff shows up. And what was happening was the other staff was showing up, waking up the office computer downstairs. And it started a backup, which ate our bandwidth. So that's what was happening at 9:30. Today there's nobody down there. And anyway, we reset that stuff to start running at night. Yeah, that's what was happening, I think. Yes, there's discussion too. We want to dry this paper slowly, and that's really going to be difficult today because the humidity is so low This stuff wants to dry very quickly. So after I'm done here, we will try and wrap it in plastic. Both doors to this room will be closed. It's a bit of a lost cause because it's still going to dry quickly. The faster it dries, the more wavy it gets. In summer we have the reverse problem. It doesn't dry well and it might tend to go moldy. You can see now the 9 prints. They're the Japan Journey prints. There will be 9 of them. We don't print them all 9 at once, of course. The paper will be sliced. I just leave it here. The printers will pick it up from here. They know their assignment. Sugu-san, she will pick it up from here, her group. And half of this stuff I'm doing today, this is for one of our outside printers, Chiharu-san. So tomorrow morning, I will take the sheets down. I will partially cut them. I will cut them into strips, 1, 2, 3, and send them to her. She will then cut the smaller pieces and get busy making the prints. Someone's asking, have we sold out another printing of Japan Journey? They're open. It's open for subscription. We caught up on printing it halfway through last year, so we opened up Japan Journey and Pilgrimage. We opened them up, I forget, September, somewhere around there. They are currently open. What's open right now? Japan Journey is open, Pilgrimage is open, last year's series is open, next year's series, the series we're making right now, the small prints are now closed. We are sold out of the Delight prints. Subscriptions are closed for those. I closed it yesterday. It took 2 weeks, start to finish, to sell out. We are stopping it at 300. And they're gone. They're spoken for. And I was chatting with the girls yesterday about this. Lei-chan's in there. She's, as we speak right now, in the next room. She can hear my voice too. She's printing the January set of the new subscriptions. And for me, it's fun. They're all sold. They're all gone. We know that they're all going to be disappearing to good homes. And for me, that's fun. But for her, some of the girls, it seems like stress. Oh my God, if they make a mistake, what's going to happen, you know? But for me, it's much more fun knowing that the prints are already on their way to a good home. There's like a car factory. Somebody's ordered a car, or shoes, handmade shoes. The guy orders shoes, you measure his feet, and you make the shoes. That's much more fun than doing assembly line work. Done. Now, show and tell. What time is it? It's 9:25. Okay, what to do. This could go either of 2 ways here. We have, just a second, let me go get it. Okay, show and tell. We have a box that arrived the other day with a bunch of small books in it. And they are really cool, but they're not 4 minutes cool. They're 15, 20, 25 minutes cool. Or I have the prints that I washed the other day. Some of the prints that I took off the washing the other day. To look at those. What shall we do here? The timing is not working. Let's hold this till next time. Let's hold this. It's not worth a few minutes. And also, honestly speaking, I haven't done my research on this quite carefully enough. I know what's inside. Let me hold this till Monday. Yeah. Let me hold this till Monday. I'll do a bit of research on it to help be able to explain more what's going on. Let's look at the prints that I took off the water the other day. And actually, one of them is here. One of them is in the next room downstairs. One sec, I will go and get it. Hang on a sec. Okay, camera, it's now. I need to be able to see the chat. I got to see the window. Let's get this. Wires, so many wires. I need a tech. Okay, there's a few things to point out specifically about these. The prints that we washed off the other day, the feedback I get, lots of people ask, they look clean, they look okay, but don't they lose all the texture of the paper? Here's an example. This is a bird. It's one of the ones we washed off the other day. We're going to try and get it under the light here. And can you see the feathers? Look at this. There's embossing on the feathers here. This is the sheet of paper. Oh, the camera's still talking to us, is it? The button that says OK is accepting it as focus. Just no idea. It's not going to work. Just leave it. It's okay. Doesn't matter. So we still have texture on this paper, and this is a sheet that was actually in the bath, in the water. They came out beautifully, beautifully. You saw when they were in the water too, remember? There was a white band around the outside and a darker part in the middle. And the darker part in the middle was where they have been affected by pressing against the bad backing paper, and the white part at the edge is where they had been protected by the glue. So the glue itself, even though glue is not a good thing, it had been protecting them from long contact with that awful backing board. Then I mentioned some of them at each end of the album were really, really, really heavily browned. Let me find a couple here. Here's one. Look at this. It's much more heavily browned than the other ones. And you can see that the white glue area was protecting the print. Then the one that I spoiled, where is it? Here's the one that I spoiled. And I should have taken note of this. It was grotesquely damaged. And I should have realized this paper was so badly damaged that it was really, really weak. And when I worked, I broke two rules. One is I rubbed too hard on the back, and one is I worked towards the corner, which of course will separate the paper. Never ever work towards the corner. Work from the corner in. So there's the one that I lost. David destroyed a print. And honestly speaking, it was already dead in the water. But I could have been a bit more careful with it. The thing about these is now they are stable. They will now move on to the future. They will not degrade any more than the normal level of degradation that we would have seen. We have pretty much saved them from any further decay. I'm happy about that. We destroyed the album itself, but we have saved the prints themselves. Then smaller ones. I don't remember which ones we did and which ones we didn't do. They were all in there to show these treasure chests. And of course, in the album, we did that Kabuki series. Remember, we did the little fans. And you saw it deep in the hot water, and they've come up clean and beautiful, ready for another 100 years. Not only have they come off cleanly and evenly, it's a bit bright here, you can see it, but the barren marks, we can actually see the striations of the printer on the back. And I wouldn't have believed it myself, you know, a print like this can go under the hot water, float around for a while, and come off the backing, and here we are, back to normal. This one, I think, this is the last group that I threw into the water just at the end. I don't think you saw me float it off. I don't remember. I threw that in just at the end. And this one is incredible. I hadn't really studied this before, but this is now going to be one of the most highlights of our collection. This is a print from Showa 9. Oop, go away. Touch anything. This is a print from Showa 9, And just for the scale here, here's my thumb for the scale. Look at the makeup around the eyes here. This is incredible. This is a tattoo. The person we're looking at here, the name is on it. It's Benten Kozo. K-O-Z-O. If you Google, look up this on Wikipedia. He has a Wikipedia page. He's one of the 5, what do they call? Gonin Otoko. 5 men. They're 5 bad guys, 5 robbers, thieves from the Edo era. And they are the highlight of a long, long kabuki play. And in fact, they're highlighted here in Asakusa. If you've walked up and down the streets in Asakusa, you might see there's fiberglass models of actors here and there. They include this guy, Benten Kozo, and it's Kikunosuke is the name of the character. This print was made before the video clip I did. This is Showa 9. And this is a man. This is a kabuki actor. And the story is long and convoluted. It's a guy who plays the part of a woman, and they ask her to take her clothes off, and he reveals his shoulder tattoo. And those eyes. There's the scale. We talked about the key block registration being critical. This is as critical as they get. This absolutely has become, it will become one of the highlights of our collection. I didn't even realize it was in there. It was just an add-on to a bunch of prints we bought at an auction one day for whatever, 1,000 yen or something. And this is one of the most astonishing prints we now own. It's incredible, just incredible. It's not actually part of the series. The series of prints was made as 12 kabuki scenes, and it was created by Oda-san, who was one of the members of these collectors groups. And when the set was finished, some other members of the group commissioned a few prints in commemoration of him. They're celebration prints, and they've got the same thing. They've got the series name, Gekimitate 12 kagetsu Kansei Rei. So these are a celebration print that they gave to Oda-san in celebration of finishing his set. And this one is one of the same. And Hasegawa, the member of that group, must have been a very, very rich man, because instead of a normal level carving and printing, he commissioned a very, very much more complex prints. It's part of the kabuki story. The actor got slashed by a sword when a little bit of a fight happening on stage, and one thing led to another, and he had to do the reveal, throwing off his kimono to show that he was really a dangerous character, and don't mess with me kind of a thing. Okay, I know, I'm sorry not to end on a really wonderful show and tell. We do just whatever, just bide your time. Bide your time. We have that little box, I've already lost it. We have that package. It's a package of books, and Taran-san and I on Monday, we will take the time and trouble to show you some drop-dead, beautiful, beautiful items from the Taisho period. Items that we can just no longer even think about making these days. Okay, that'll be it. I've got to get out of here. I have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of work to do. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again in a couple of days. We will have a hot tub stream. Myself and Taran-san will be washing more prints, and hopefully we won't destroy any like I did the other day. Okay. One more thing. I'm going to post a link, just when I stop talking here, I'm going to post a link to a video. It's a video of a TV kabuki scene, where this scene, the reveal of this person's tattoo and true identity, is exposed. Let me stop talking now. I'll find the YouTube video link, I'll post it in here, and I'll see you on Monday. There's your link. It jumps right to the part of the video where the big reveal happens. See you later. Thanks very much, and bye for now.